Hi, I'm Vince and welcome to my channel, Vince Cooper Games. In this game we're going to be doing a playthrough of my solitaire war game, Bloody Lane, and we are going to be going through turn 3. So let's get started and get straight into it. Step 1, phase 1, is the supply phase. So down here we currently have an orders token in play. So we're going to move that along the supply track from S1 to S2. We're then going to place a new supply token, orders, ammunition, or reinforcements. So last turn, 14th and 4th North Carolina fired, so they're going to need to reload, so that's going to decrease the minion ball value. 30th North Carolina used devastating fire to wipe out the 4th New York, so they've already lost one point of minion ball value. So when they reload, that's going to go down by 2. So I think we're going to have to put an ammunition token into play. This is something you're going to have to continually think about, especially with the ammunition and the reinforcements, because it's going to take 3 turns to be resolved. Plus, there is of course the danger that the Union artillery will defend it, will destroy it as it travels along the supply track. So we've got orders there, ammunition there, and that concludes the supply phase. Next is the reset Confederate artillery phase. So all of the Confederate artillery have an artillery ready token, so they are already reset, so we take no action there. Confederate artillery phase. Okay, I'm gonna again hold fire with the Confederate artillery. Two choices are fire, hold fire. I'm gonna hold fire, which will mean that the Union artillery, okay, Tompkins and Tidball, will fire against the supply line. So that's what we're going to resolve now in the Union artillery phase. So again, I'll explain rules briefly. If you want to check out the more detailed rules explanations in previous videos, please do so. But we've got 3 artillery units here. Tidball always attacks with 3, so that's a total of 6. They're going to target the supply token in box S3 first. If that is destroyed, or in this case if there is no supply token, they will direct their fire at the supply token in box S2, which is the orders token. The center number, because it's in the center supply box, is 2. So we're going to roll 2d6, 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 2d6 3 times. If the result is a 2, that will destroy the orders token. So let's go ahead and roll. That's an 8. That's the first attack. That's an 11. Second attack. An 8. Third attack. 3 more attacks for Tidball. That's a 5. That's another miss. Attack number 5 is an 8. And attack number 6 is another 8. Okay, so the orders, all the attacks on the orders token missed. And that concludes the Union artillery phase. Next is the Union event phase. Okay, so we're going to refer to the table down here. We're going to roll 4d6 4 times. We're going to resolve each event as we roll. So let's make the first roll, and just so you can see that. Okay, we've got a 19 there. So if we refer to the table, 19 is a light fire event, column A, because we're resolving the events between turn 1 and turn 5. So light fire event. So first of all, we're going to write down 3 here to indicate turn 3, first event of turn 3. And a light fire event is select target Confederate counter, roll 1d6. If it's a 1, the cohesion of that counter is reduced by 1. So let's go ahead and determine the Confederate target, which is this table here. And we get a 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30th North Carolina. If it's a 1, cohesion -1, and we get a 5. So no effect. Okay, that concludes event number 1. Event number 2, we get a 14. So if we come over to the table, 14, column A, has already been resolved. Next highest number, next highest number. Next highest number is the skirmisher event here, number 18. So we're going to write a 3 there. Skirmisher event has no target Confederate regiment, but roll 1d6. If it's a 1, we're going to reduce the officer value from 4 to 3. get a 4. So skirmisher event has no effect. That's 2 resolved this turn. Okay, 46 again. Okay, this time we get a 19. If we refer to the table, so we just resolved light fire, 20 was reform, already resolved. Heavy fire is the next one. So we're going to write 3 here. Okay, heavy fire. Okay, select Confederate target, roll 1d6, 1 to 2, reduces the cohesion by 1. So 1d6, target is 1, 2, 2nd North Carolina, 1d6 again, 1 to 2, -1, 3, no effect. Okay, that's 3 Union events resolved so far. So last one, 4d6. Okay, that's a 12. It's heavy fire again. Okay, so same thing, just write a 3 here. Okay, determine the Confederate target, 1d6, 1 to 2 is -1 cohesion. So target is 30th North Carolina, 102 is a hit, and we get a 2. Okay, so finally they're causing some damage. Okay, so the maximum cohesion and starting cohesion is 5, -1, so 30th North Carolina drops to a cohesion of 4. Okay, that's 4 events, and that concludes the Union event phase. Okay, so Union event phase. Next is the Union action phase. So there are 2 Union counters on the game board. Both of them, okay, normally, let me explain what we would normally do. Normally we would roll 1d6 and the foremost Union counters would either move or resolve a volley action. But in this case, because they have a cohesion of 1, they automatically select and resolve the crouch and reform action. This represents Union soldiers lying down or kneeling down, still participating in the battle, but ineffectively. They've lost their cohesion. The officers are trying to get the men back together again and get them organized. So the first thing we do is place a crouch token next to the affected Union regiment. A crouch token indicates the attack -1 to cohesion. So if, for example, the 14th North Carolina were to attack the 1st Delaware, they would suffer a -1 penalty to the cohesion. So they'd make the attack with 4, as well as other modifiers. The crouch token remains attached until the cohesion increases to 2. And then at the end of the turn, during the end of turn phase, the crouch token would be resolved. So the first thing to do is place the crouch token. Okay, the second thing to do in the crouch and reform action is to perform a cohesion check. So this is a simple 1d6 roll. If it's a 1, then it succeeds and the cohesion increases from 1 to 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a fail. So let's go through 1st Delaware. So that's a 2. So it remains with cohesion 1. Okay, 5th Maryland is a 3, so it also fails. The importance of this will come up after we have resolved Union deployment in turn 4, because this affects how Union regiments coming up from the rear will bypass the Union regiments in the forward attack positions. So only 2 counters, so that concludes the Union action phase. Next is the remove exposed token phase. So there are no exposed tokens attached to any Confederate counters, so we can skip past that. So then we come up to the Union deployment phase. Turn 3, there is no Union deployment, so again we skip that. So next one is the Confederate action phase. So the Confederate action table is down here, and this gives you a brief summary of the rules. However, as with the previous video, let me use something that's a little bit easier to see. So this is a page taken from the rule book. So we're going to consult this table up here. So we roll 4 Confederate action die. We resolve each die to 1 column and select one of the actions from that column. So 4d6. Okay, so a 1 is not a good result. A 1 means that there is no action available. 6 is, however, very good because it means we can choose whichever action we want. And a 4 and a 5, the 4 gives us the option of reload or inspire. The 5 gives us the option of fire or reload. So we can discount the 1. Each Confederate counter can resolve 1 action per turn. So let's think kind of carefully here about what we want to do. We definitely want to use the reload. So we'll reload the 14th North Carolina, turn it back upright. The mini ball value drops from 4 to 3. Okay, we've now got the first problem, the first serious kind of decision of the game to make, which is what to do with the 13th North Carolina. So this, although they have a cohesion of 4, they can reload, and they have the lowest mini ball value, but they also have taken a hit. So what I'm going to do, and partly in order to demonstrate how it works, is I'm going to assign the 4 to an inspire, and I'm going to assign the 6 to an inspire. This creates a boosted action. You can you can gain a +1 bonus to either the fire or the inspire action by assigning 2 action die to the same action. They don't have to be the same result, it just has to be the same action. So we're going to take this. So the boosted action gives it a cohesion of 5. We're going to roll 1d6. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, the cohesion check succeeds and it will return to 5. If it's a 6, it fails. And we get, of course, a 6. Oh dear. So that's 2 Confederate action die basically wasted there. Okay, so the 30th North Carolina has failed to inspire, and it also is going to need to reload. Okay, so that ends the Confederate action phase. Okay, and then last one is the end of turn phase. Okay, so if there was a smoke token, we would now remove that. If in the Union action phase, 1st Delaware or 5th Maryland had increased their cohesion, we would now remove the attached crouch tokens, but both of them still have a cohesion of 1, so the crouch tokens remain in play, and they'll affect the following turn. So that's the end of turn 3. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.